This is Jaya McSharma. I am a doctor by day, but more importantly, a writer for night for Heliopolis and various publications. So the piece that I chose is an untitled political cartoon, and those who know me might be shocked that I chose something political. As soon as I walked past this piece in the Norton, I basically backtracked and it just caught my eye immediately. I was like, what is that? Show it to me now. It speaks to me for several reasons, and I'll go over those. First of all, you can see that it's definitely a political cartoon with several different factions represented. One of the ones that speaks to me in the upper right-hand corner is a drawing of Gandhi, and he's sitting down next to a spinning wheel, which represents India's way of boosting its economy, or India's economic independence. Aside from some of the recent controversy that's come out about Gandhi, he still remains a symbol of Indian independence, and this is something that speaks very personally to me, not just because I'm brown by way of India, but also because my grandparents actually fought for Indian independence from the British. So they were freedom fighters in the little town of Basti and basically put their lives on the line every day to fight for India's independence. So that has a lot of meaning to me. But I think that this part of the cartoon speaks to what the rest of it speaks to, which is that true independence can only come from economic independence. And that's something I think we often ignore because we get so caught up in political and social and moral views, and we don't realize how much money is actually tied to autonomy. So yay Gandhi, yay Indian independence, and that actually fits perfectly well because right underneath Gandhi is, to me, a very Winston Churchill type figure. Of course, he's a hero in England and for many reasons to Americans, but he was also very much for imperialism over India, and again, that ties to the exports that India could give Great Britain and how much money the Indian people could make for the British government. So here you see a Winston Churchill type figure, or he kind of looks like the Monopoly man, but basically he's sitting on a bed of money and cash, and he's obviously very plump. And you just kind of picture this guy who's full of money, and like the pot belly just kind of signifies not a lot of carbs, which is my favorite, but more that this is someone who's always had access to plenty of money, wealth, food, whatever it might be. His wheels literally have dollar signs on them, so the picture couldn't be much clearer than that. The Winston Churchill / Monopoly guy is being pulled on a cart by two larger figures and several smaller figures. And what I think is so interesting about that is that the two larger figures and the smaller figures all have their heads toward the ground. So their eyes are pointed down, which means they do not have an awareness of the situation in which they are directly involved. This is really important because if you think about the working class, you think about the proletariats throughout history, not just currently in America. We're all working so hard every day and involved in so many social and familial obligations. I don't think many of us have a real idea of where our wages are going, who we're supporting, and basically these fat cats that are living a life that we can only dream of. That's very apropos for this election. I think we've had a very volatile election season, and I think that some of the reason that you see that is because Americans in general are very angry, and the political revolution that you've seen on both sides, but particularly with young people and Bernie Sanders, you can see that people are fed up. We don't just want the routine life. We don't just want the minimum wage. We don't just want going from box A to box B. We realize that there's something else out there and that more people need to have access to a better life than just the top class.